Good morning, and welcome back to Mull. Just visiting my second home here. It's just checking everything's still okay. Roof needs a little bit of attention, but we'll get there. Anyway, today is the final part in our little section on behaviour change. So just as a little recap, we've already spoke about how our bodies have evolved, and we spoke about the environment in which we live in, which tends to promote obesity these days. And today we're going to have a little look at the cycle of change. So it's a sort of psychological process that we move through when we're trying to change our behaviour. It has various stages, and I'm just going to work through each stage, and maybe it will resonate with you in terms of what stage you think you currently lie in. So the cycle of change has been around for a long time. We use it a lot in the work that we do, in terms of trying to take people away from unhelpful habits and unhelpful behaviours to more beneficial ways of living their lives. And the sort of first area that people tend to exist in is called pre-contemplation. And basically that means I'm not even thinking about it really. Somewhere in the depths of their mind, there may be the thought that actually this life that I'm leading at the minute is not the healthiest, but it doesn't really register. It's not important enough, nowhere near high enough up the priority list. And unfortunately, a lot of the Western world are walking around in that sort of position in terms of their health and their fitness. Now, the next sort of stage that we move to is contemplation and a sort of decision-making process. So that's a movement away from ambivalence and away from denial to a recognition that there might be an issue. So this is something you may have encountered. There's often a sort of trigger point to this. So people sit in a sort of 50-50 position then, thinking, well, should I, shouldn't I? Is it worth it? And they sort of weigh up the pros and cons of starting to change. Trigger points can really vary. So that could be anything from running for the bus and realising that they're out of breath very, very quickly, to maybe playing with the grandkids and realising that they can't kick a ball around for any more than 2 minutes without getting pain in the knees or hips or something like that. Or it may be a medical condition has developed, or it may have been the doctor saying you really need to do something. So often here people assess their readiness to change, and that's something that we try to assess a lot at consultation, where people are in terms of this change cycle, and if they are really ready to make a difference. They need to look at your barriers and try to work out what could potentially get in the way here, what's going to stop me making this change, and how can I overcome that. And really think, where am I going to be in 2 to 5 years' time if I do not do something about this at this current time? Is this issue just going to get progressively worse unless I actually make a change to what I'm doing? And then people move on to a stage we call preparation. And this is sort of people resolving to make that change and developing a toolbox of how they're going to get through that. So for a lot of people, that's a referral to healthy options. It's a really good start. Or it can also be things like gaining support from loved ones. It may be going away and gathering as much information as they possibly can on the subject. So before you came to us, you might have looked at our website, for example, and decided, okay, these guys look as if they sort of half know what they're doing. And the doctors have spoke highly of them, so I'm going to go and give them a try. And it's key at this stage that people really experiment with little steps and not try to turn their lives upside down. And that's for diet and nutrition, and even things like sleep and other sort of behavioural habits. Try not to go from one extreme to the other. It rarely works. It's about making small changes over time. Now, the point where a lot of you guys will be is the next stage, which is action. And this is sort of developing those tools at your disposal and making use of all the resources around you. So people like ourselves and hopefully we're still of some sort of use at the minute, even though it's from a distance. And again, it's about day by day small steps, and make sure that you reward yourself if things are going well, but not obviously with a big cream bun. So at the minute, if you're giving up some high calorie foods or making real inroads into your diet, maybe that extra money that you would have spent, why not put it in a box somewhere? And when all this is over, go and treat yourself to something nice. Maybe go somewhere a little bit warmer. It's beautiful here, but it's cold. And then we move on to a maintenance stage. And within that, hopefully you'll have some goals set that you're going to keep working towards. And it would help to develop those new habits. Again, reward success, but be aware of temptation and where you've come from. It is easy to slip back again. So some of us will lapse temporarily, and that's inevitable. We should all know that that's going to happen no matter what. That happens to me all the time. There will be little setbacks. The key is to make sure that doesn't throw you off the wagon completely, and that you can get back on again straight away. The fear is that some people will fall into a permanent relapse, and that's not a good place. That's almost a complete return to original behaviour, and we don't want to go there. But you guys are not going to go there because you're flying. And then finally, the stage called termination, and that sounds bad, sounds a bit like arting. I'll be back. But termination is a learned behaviour, basically. So then the new behaviour you're trying to employ, a new approach to health and fitness, stays there. It's natural. You don't even have to think about it. You get up and you get on with it every day. So that's the cycle of change. I hope that helps. I know some of these have been quite long, guys, so I'll finish up quickly if I can. Just finally want to say thank you very much for everyone getting in touch regarding the resistance bands. We have now 3/4 of them spoken for, and they're to be picked up from Jackson's Butchers as of this morning. I hope that they'll be helpful. I'll be putting a little video up on the website with some exercises on use of resistance bands. And I hope the wind hasn't been too bad here, because it is starting to blow a little bit. Perfectly still when I started, but it's picking up. Anyway, you guys have a good day. I'll catch up with you later on, and as always, stay safe.